Today we kick off our Dog Days of Summer triple feature with Dan Attias' 1985 How Love a Whodunit. The full moon is rising, curfew's in full effect, and Stephen King's well-oiled coming-of-age template has grown a fresh set of teeth as we spend the summer in Tarker's Mill to uncover the true identity of a one-eyed, baseball bat-wielding werewolf in Silver Bullet. You're listening to How I Met Your Monster, a podcast that explores the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. My name's Zach.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Casey.
And together we dive into the world of horror to find out how filmmakers have introduced us to our favorite monsters time and time again. This is How I Met Your Monster.
Boss, you opened it. We came.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left.
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
Call you Meatloaf! Surprise, Sydney.
Come on, don't be chicken shit.
Welcome to How I Met Your Monster, the show where we discuss the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. Today is the end of summer officially. No, when does summer end?
September 20-something.
Okay, so we're still in summer.
We're aptly in the dog days of summer.
Yes, we are in the dog days of summer and kicking off our dog days of summer triple feature with one of my favorite, I want to say it's one of my favorite werewolf movies ever, but it might just be one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
Just, it's one that I don't think about all the time, but when I do, and then when I watch it, it's like, oh my God, this movie is so fucking good. Of course, I'm talking about Silver Bullet, 1985, based on the Stephen King short story. I guess it was like a calendar called Cycle of the Werewolf.
Yeah, it's a really short. It's a picture book, and it's the framing of the story is kind of it's more episodic than the movie, and each chapter, I guess, is follows the lunar cycle of each month. So you do have characters in the movie that are in the short story that are in the movie, but it's more about following the werewolf than it is following like one hero character, I guess, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Generally, the movie has the same framework and like setup and even like a lot of sequences as the book, as the short story.
Okay.
But otherwise very different.
Okay. Because Stephen King wrote the short story, but then he also wrote the screenplay for this one. Mm-hmm. And this was directed by Daniel Attias. And this was his first feature and his only feature.
Oh. After
this,
Wonder why.
He's been directing TV episodes since then. He's still directing TV episodes now.
You adapt an episodic short story and you change the narrative to make it like a feature, and then you go and you start telling stories that are episodic.
Yep. But I fucking love this movie so much. Danny, I know you love it too. I'm interested to hear Casey's take. Just her first initial reactions. Casey, what did you think of this movie? Oh my God.
So
really?
Here's
she
the thing.
Fucking hated it.
I didn't hate it. Here's the thing. Okay. It was a lot of fun, right? It was so stupid. Let's be real. It's stupid. But you guys hyped this shit up. I thought it was going to be a good werewolf movie. I didn't think it was going to be like some silly story about a kid in a fucking wheelchair called The Silver.
What the fuck?
I thought it was going to be...
It's those little details that make it such a compelling werewolf story because it's something you haven't seen before.
Not enough. I was thinking werewolf. I was thinking like badass fucking werewolf shit.
He's conflicted.
Not like weird coming of age music while he's staring at kids playing baseball because he's jealous that they have legs. I don't.
He has legs.
Well, they don't work.
This is our ableist episode.
Shut the fuck up, Danny. So here's the thing. I didn't hate the movie.
It's also our rudest.
I just was expecting Yeah, I'm rude. I didn't hate the movie. I was just expecting something different because of the way that you guys hyped it up. I didn't know that it was this cornball of a fucking 80s movie.
I mean, I pitched it as My Girl Meets the Wolfman. So, to be fair.
Yeah.
Did I respond to you?
did.
If it was in the text thread, I might not have read it.
I thought I said it on here, but maybe it was a text.
But that makes a lot of sense now.
Man, Casey, damn, that's sad.
Isn't it?
Now, Casey, in no way am I going to try to change your mind, nor do I think it's important to change your mind, nor do I want to, any of that. You know, we're all entitled to our own opinion.
But
you're saying you want this like badass werewolf movie. The movie opens up with a werewolf swiping a guy's head off.
yeah, that was
His
cool.
decapitated head flying through the air.
That was cool. And then what did we get after that?
Oh, I'll tell you what we got after that. We got a werewolf ripping apart a pregnant woman in her bedroom. And then after that, we got a werewolf beating 2 people to death with a baseball bat.
Oh, so cool. The visual of a werewolf with a baseball bat just like beating the hell out of someone.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes, and the werewolf parts were cool, but I didn't like the rest. The music in those scenes where he's like riding around in his wheelchair and shit, it's so not a horror movie. Like,
yeah,
the parts that weren't scary were not a horror movie. Period.
My first note that I wrote in my notes while watching this movie, I wrote, this is the very first one. I love the music.
Good.
Period.
Love it.
Period. So great to have this family drama, sweet music play during a werewolf movie.
But you guys know I'm not into that.
Yeah.
You guys know I'm not into that. If I'm watching a horror movie, I want it to be a horror movie. I don't want there to be parts of a horror movie in a movie about a kid in a wheelchair.
Oh, man.
It's just funny how like we all, I'm explaining humans. We all like different things.
I'm explaining
Simplified,
humans. People.
But that's
Like
exactly what I
things.
love about it is the contrast of you
course.
get
Yeah.
they're setting you up. It's like it's not really misdirection, but it's kind of it's like forcing you to be acclimated to this specific tone, only to kind of sideswipe you and swipe your head off, as it were.
Oh.
So yeah, but teach their own. I totally get it. I can see why you don't like it, especially if you didn't grow up watching it, because it is a very specific 80s aesthetic.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't dislike the movie, but it wasn't. I'm probably never gonna watch it again. And
Well,
the werewolf parts I really did like,
okay,
but the rest of it.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I do have to go.
I bid you adieu.
I can do this no longer. Doesn't matter what she thinks. We still have the movie. It's okay. It's like Casablanca. We'll always have Tarker's Mill.
That's right.
You know?
Am I kicked off the show?
No, absolutely
Zach's
not.
lingering his thing over like the X button on Casey's
Just
camera.
to X me out of the recording.
Or do we record the whole episode as is, but when Zach's editing the audio, he just kicks out Casey's track without any explanation. So there's just like dead air.
I don't listen to the
while.
episodes. I would never know. And then you don't want to tell me. You don't want to tell me that you've kicked me off of the show, so you keep meeting with me every other week, and I keep recording.
Casey hasn't been on the show in years.
Perfect.
Oh my God.
That's funny. You guys want to know something crazy?
Mhm.
Just to give some like context of like what Stephen King adaptations looked like around this time in 1985. Silver Bullet was released the same year as Cat's Eye. 1 year after Children of the Corn and Firestarter, and 1 year before Maximum Overdrive and Stand By Me.
Okay.
That run,
That tracks.
yeah, it does.
Only, yeah.
But you get like a combination of like crazy King, but also nostalgic coming of age King.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I think Silver Bullet just sits so nicely tucked in the middle.
So
Right.
Silver Bullet is a mixture between Children of the Corn and Stand By Me.
Totally.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's right in the
Except
middle there.
Children of the Corn and Stand By Me don't have Gary Busey.
Oh,
No.
Uncle Red.
Gary Busey
This is the
should.
finest performance ever put on screen.
I miss Gary. I miss I don't know what Gary Busey has become, but
no, you know what Gary Busey is in this era? He is what we were just talking about in regard to Stephen King's era at this time, where it's batshit but charming. You know, like you can kind of explore this like the crazy, but there's a level of comfort in it. Like his performance in this movie is bonkers. It's like off the walls, but he's not so removed from reality at this point where you can't connect with him, or you're not like, I don't know, you don't want him as your crazy Uncle Red, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because now you don't want him as your crazy Uncle.
Yeah, now you run.
Yeah.
I should have listened to Mom.
Man, I got to watch The Frighteners again. It's been a while.
Oh, that's Jake Busey, right?
Oh, is it?
His son is in that.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it in such a long
Same
time.
thing.
I knew there was a Busey.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Busey. Just Buseys are all over the place.
Okay, well, are you guys ready to head to Tarker's Mills to meet Marty Coleslaw and Reverend Lowe? Marty Coleslaw.
I was doing the same thing. I was like, what a name. That's one of those names where I feel like Stephen King like cracked himself up. Like, I'm gonna call him. People are gonna think it's Coleslaw.
How do you say it? It's Coleslaw. Coslaw.
I think that's how you pronounce it too. Hey, I'm Marty Coleslaw. It's a dramatic pause between each letter.
They call me Coleslaw. Marty Coleslaw.
Guys,
even he gets it wrong every time.
Coleslaw is not like hard to say though.
I want you to try to say it.
I just said it, Coleslaw.
Okay, you're saying Coleslaw, but are you looking at it and trying to read it?
No.
Because it clearly looks like coleslaw.
Okay, now I'm looking at it. Coleslaw. Coleslaw.
First of all, here's a question. Do you enjoy coleslaw?
No.
I like vinegar-based coleslaw, not mayonnaise-based.
All right, so coleslaw is off the table. We'll just call him Marty. Sorry, Marty Coleslaw, you don't get any coleslaw today. You just no 4th of July picnic for you, Marty. Fireworks are canceled. Dude, okay, so his best friend just gets ripped apart by a werewolf. And he's like, oh, that sucks.
They canceled the fireworks.
Then he's like, they canceled the fireworks. And he's like, this fucking sucks. This isn't fair. I can't believe they canceled the fireworks. Why are they ruining my life? And I was like, dude, you got to like weigh your...
He's like, what's my character's motivation? He's an asshole.
Wait, Marty? That happened with Marty?
Marty, yeah. Marty is Corey Haim.
Yeah, I know.
And he like was sort of upset that Brady got ripped apart, but like really mad that the fireworks were canceled.
There's a scene when he's talking to Uncle Red, and he's like, he's listing off like why his summer sucks. He's like, they canceled the fireworks. Brady's dead. I was like, oh God.
And then Red's like, he's like, they killed your best friend, right? And then they canceled your fireworks. He's like,
do not put these two energies together.
Yeah, there's that great scene where like they're flying a kite. And then Marty's like, I got to go. He's like, Brady, you coming? And then Brady's like, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. And then they like just hold on Marty's face as he just like watches him, because you know that he knows this is like the last time he's going to see his friend. He just has like this feeling.
Was Brady the one in the beginning?
Like,
in the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they're just holding on his face, and it's just like the music's playing and you're just like, oh, fuck. And then it cuts to the bar. Right. And then Brady's dad comes in and he says, like, has anybody seen my son?
Does anyone know how to get blood stains out of this kite?
Hey, guys, I found this bloody kite. Does anyone know how to clean this? And they're like, I think that's Brady's kite. And he's like, oh! Okay, let's head to Tarker's Mills to find a werewolf.
Put on our hard hats and become the Hardy Boys.
So what the fuck's a hard hat? Like, what does a hard hat have to do with anything?
When Uncle Red says, I'm a little too old to be playing the Hardy Boys meet Reverend Wolf Werewolf.
But what does that have to do with hard hats? The Hardy Boys were detectives. Detectives don't wear hard hats.
Because Hardy Boys, hard hats.
Yeah. No, the Hardy Boys, detectives, put on your fedoras and your trench coats and get out your fucking voice recorders.
Voice recorders?
Yeah, like, look at what I found.
Like you find a dead body and you're just like, pull out your voice recorder. Look what I found.
Yeah, that's what they do.
It's a classic way to start a murder investigation. Look what I found. He's dead.
Oh, God. Okay, let's go meet some monsters. All right, so we are talking about Silver Bullet, obviously. This was my choice for our Dog Days of Summer triple feature. And so I am going to read the synopsis for Silver Bullet via IMDb. In a small town, brutal killings start to plague the close-knit community. Marty Coleslaw.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, but then it screwed me up. In a small town, brutal killings start to plague the close-knit community. Marty Coleslaw, a paraplegic boy, is convinced the murders are the doings of a werewolf. Okay, so that does bring up a good question, though, because in the movie, like, Brady gets killed. Then he's like after the funeral, they're riding in the car with Red. Red takes him home and he's like, Uncle Red, I think, like, what if it's not a man? What if it's like a monster, like a werewolf? Like, how are you getting that, Marty?
He's not.
He does and then he does say that like Tammy, his friend Tammy, like heard noises coming from the greenhouse, the barn or whatever. But like, how do you go from that?
Probably could have used one more.
Yeah. How do you go from the noises?
They should have just
like,
had him.
Yeah.
Had him like watching the Wolfman on TV.
Yeah. Something to like pique his imagination.
Something like really on the nose. Like they found hair at the crime scene and it didn't match with any animal. Some kind of evidence to kind of suggest that something is afoot and not human.
Even in like The Lost Boys, when Corey Haim's character is reading all those comic books, like
totally,
that would have been fun. Just like to have him, because he is in a wheelchair, like he might be spending a lot of time like inside. You know, he could be like a comic lover.
Comic liker.
I just don't like comics. I fucking love comics.
Well, also Stephen King wrote this, and Stephen King is, he's like a kind of a pop culture junkie. Yeah. And he loves reading. He loves horror. So he could have just pulled from himself as a kid, like just
what he was getting into.
Yeah.
Right.
Then boom. Yeah.
But
exactly.
Yeah.
Simple fix. But it's okay.
Anyways, I don't fault the movie for that. It is just kind of a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. But okay. For Silver Bullet, we have 12 monster reveals.
One monster, 12 reveals.
One monster, 12 reveals. Anytime a monster is revealed to us as an audience or to a character in the movie counts as a reveal, and we have 12 of them. And our first one is right out of the gate, right off the bat. Arnie, a drunk train worker.
Lots of drunk people in this movie.
Yeah, railroad worker.
Everybody's
late
drunk.
night, working the night shift. Hearing some sounds.
And he sees the footprints in the dirt. And he's like, oh, what the fuck? And he turns around and there it is. Fucking monster waxes
him off.
Just wax him off. Wax his head right off.
As werewolves do. Poor little bastards.
Dude.
What?
Dude, the werewolves in my town always fucking go around whacking people off. It's insane.
And it's when they always make eye contact and it's weird. And
they do this little growl. It's just strange.
They howl when I come. It's really bizarre.
So the werewolf in this was actually, there was a man in the suit, but like the head of the werewolf was like taller than the guy, and it was filled with like mechanical stuff that they would puppet and make all the expressions of
That's fun.
Yeah, of the werewolf. But
yeah, I think this is a great way to open the movie.
It is, yeah,
because it is like we had mentioned earlier. It has that like small town, very like charming coming of age feel, and we get this nice little cold open, a nice fresh, clean decapitation on the same level as that, almost as clean, if not cleaner, or if not as clean as Julius's death scene. Spoiler alert in Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We should go head to head on figuring out which one is the better decapitation.
Oh, yeah. They're both very clean swipes. Yeah, and then we get the narration.
Got the
the narration of Jane.
That starts out the movie. And she's like an old lady.
I did wonder, I was like, why are we getting Jane as the narrator when it seems like Marty is the main character? Mm-hmm. And my assumption or guess was, are we supposed to be led to believe that maybe Marty doesn't make it out alive?
Oh,
she kind of talks about how she like loves her brother. So I was wondering if that was like subconsciously supposed to like kind of up the threat level to be like, I don't think he's making this out alive, guys.
Okay.
I just read it as he eventually died and she's still alive.
That's true.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And so like, I don't remember because I saw this so many times as a kid that like now I just know the ending. You know what I mean? So like you can't put yourself back in that to be like, oh, I wonder if he doesn't make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause this is ultimately a story about like brothers and sisters. Like they even kind of highlight that with Uncle Red, Gary Busey's character, and Marty and Jane's mom, where they're kind of, you know, kind of at each other's throats. And Jane and Marty are at each other's throats. But ultimately, it's the power of family and the power of love that saves the day.
Mm-hmm. Somebody get Huey Lewis in here to write a song about that.
Oh, I did want to say there was a close up of a cockroach being crushed to death, and I thought that was a nice, aptly official goodbye to our bugging out triple feature, which we just concluded with Phenomena. So I thought that was kind of perfect.
So here's the thing: we're not done with bugging out yet. Hold on, let's. I want you to come back to that, Danny. Keep that crushed cockroach in your mind, because do you know who was in talks to be in the role of the Janie character for this movie?
Jennifer
Connelly?
Jennifer Connelly, but she was busy filming
Phenomena.
That's
pretty
awesome.
Cool.
Isn't that wild?
They should have gotten Mira Sorvino. Just kidding. She is Jennifer Connelly.
Mira Sorvino is actually the narrator. She's Janie when she's grown up. That's who's talking.
That's her. And it's also after the events of Mimic, which we know from our last episode.
How would Mira Sorvino say Tarker's Mills, Danny?
Yeah. It's that hard R. Tarker's Mills. No, that's too Mills. Canadian. It's a weird word to say in general.
That was very Romy and Michelle, though.
Tarker's.
Yeah. She does that.
Tarker's Mills.
Tarker's
Mills.
Yeah.
You have to say Michelle. Fuck. Now, like, I can't do it at all.
I grew up in a little town called Tarker's Mills.
Yeah, I grew up in Tarker's Mills. We're kind of not getting it, but people get it.
Close enough.
We're doing our best. Tarker's Mills? Everything's a question. That's what it's got to be. Tarker's Mills?
So now we can crush our cockroach because bugging out is now
splooch.
Splooch. But Tarker's Mills is great because it's like this like picturesque kind of like town that's just like, you know, storybook town. But then immediately you see like the behind the scenes kind of stuff where the couple in the bushes that are arguing that are like,
oh yeah, well
that's not my baby name? And he's Stella. That's Stella, who's pregnant.
Zach, I'm gonna correct you. He doesn't say that's not my baby. He says it's your oven, but it ain't my bun.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a much better way to say it there, guy.
And this is like a Stephen King staple of having that small picturesque town, only to realize that it's not as it may be picturesque, but it's if we're talking about pictures, it's a scary pictures, not a happy
It's
picture.
like one of those, who's the artist that did all the dots? And then like, once you like get it, like you stand back and you see all the picture. It's like the Ferris Bueller thing.
Oh yeah.
That's my art history. That's the extent of my art history. I was like, who's the artist who painted that picture in Ferris Bueller?
Let's just say Monet and move on.
Is it Monet?
I thought he did more smudgy.
Who is it?
Yeah, Monet does not paint like that.
Who is it then? I don't know. The guy who paints all the dots that make it look like a big picture. That's what Tarker's Mills is. If you look back, it's a great picture, but when you look in, it's like all these little.
George Seurat.
That's him. Him. Yep.
You're welcome.
Is it? Okay.
So as we discuss the multi-layered complexities and characters in this town, we reflect on the artist George. What is his name?
George Seurat.
George
That's
Seurat.
probably not who he's talking about. I mean,
This movie's like My Girl meets The Wolfman meets a George Seurat painting.
yeah.
But okay, that actually brings us into our second monster reveal, where Stella, who is got somebody's bun in her oven, is
Little slut.
gonna kill herself, Jesus, and her baby by suicide. Go to hell is what she says. She says people who die by suicide don't go to heaven is what she said.
Well, she says suicides go to hell, especially if they're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So then why would you want to do that, lady?
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to live anymore. Because maybe Earth is just as bad as hell.
Oh my God. It's got dark real quick.
She knows Earth exists.
And then you have this self-righteous werewolf coming in to right her wrongs, apparently.
Yeah. And that's actually like a really cool point that I love about this movie is that the werewolf knows what he's doing.
Yeah. He doesn't just wake up naked in a field the next morning with no idea what happened.
Exactly. Like usually they'll like black out and they'll be like, I don't know how I got here.
Yeah.
Like he knows he has targets and he knows what he's doing. Which I thought was really cool.
I wonder, is it that combined with the kind of like that animalistic urge, that lack of control, where it's like that's his value system making a judgment call as a werewolf? Does that make sense? Like he's not consciously like, oh, when I'm a werewolf, I'm going to go kill her to save her soul. Or is it, I happen to be a werewolf, and because I'm a werewolf, I'm going to like subconsciously target this victim or this person as my victim? Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's very aware of it because of the scene when Marty gets stuck on the bridge after the chase and he's like walking in and he's like, I killed so-and-so because she was going to suicide. I saved her soul.
Yeah.
This and like, so he knows what he's doing. Like he's very aware of it. Does that answer your question?
Oh, 100%. I actually really like that.
Yeah.
It actually makes him, obviously it makes him worse, but it makes it more interesting because Stephen King, we've talked about this. He's no stranger to some organized religions kind of sometimes turning out to be the real monster. And this is like that on like a literal monster level. Yeah.
Casey, did you pick up on did you guess who was going to be the werewolf?
Good question.
No. I mean, after he had like got him in the eye and Janie was collecting all the bottles going to see who had eyes, she went up to him before they showed him. I was like, oh, well, it's him.
Because of like the way his back was turned?
Yeah. But I didn't even realize he was a character. Like, how much was he in it other than the scene, other than the part where he's having the bad dream? That was the only part that I saw him in before I saw him revealed.
He's sprinkled. There's like the moment in the beginning when they're when the movie starts while they're doing the prank on Jane. He kind of is brought up to like, Reverend, will you give us a little talk about?
Yes,
blah,
I don't
blah, blah.
remember any. And
then
during
I think
the church scene. Sorry, go ahead.
And then I think he's in a church scene. He's in one of the.
I think it's Brady's.
He's in Brady's funeral.
Yeah,
and then when the mob is like going out to like private justice, all that
Frankenstein.
scene.
He goes, "Don't kill me. I mean, don't kill it."
He's running out trying to stop all the people in their cars, being like, "This is a bad idea. Like, don't do this." Blah blah blah.
I only saw him during like the transformation, the dream that he was having, but I was like, I woke up because it was so loud.
Oh,
So
okay.
And I feel like it's funny because rewatching that, knowing that he is, spoiler alert, the werewolf, I'm always like, is it giving away too much? But then I think because he is the priest, maybe you could see it as like, you know, the holy man, the holy man of town is like so overwhelmed by like the evils that he's like haunted by it. And I don't know.
Right. Because after that, when like after the dream, he like lays back down and says like, make it stop or it's got to end or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but he really, he really tears up Stella pretty good.
Yeah, that scene, this movie I always forget how violent it is.
which means he also killed her baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's fucked up. It reminds me of in Friday the 13th, part 3, there's this character who just randomly announces the fact that she's pregnant because they offer her weed and she's like, I can't smoke that. I'm pregnant. And she dies. So it's like dark. And I watched that Crystal Lake Memories documentary and they were like basically saying like, what was that for? And they're like, it's just darker.
Just a little extra.
It's like, oh, okay.
Damn.
A little extra kill.
So
One more
fucked
body.
up.
One more to add to the body
Yeah,
count.
it's like really dark.
It's an easy way to add a body.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Jason has the highest body count.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he also has the most fucking movies, don't he?
Jason has 12. Michael has... How many does Michael have? 9, 10. Is it 13?
He's probably got
Just
more
13.
now with the new trilogy.
But I thought 9 was... 9 and 10 are Rob Zombie.
Oh, yeah.
And then, 10. Oh, yeah. So I think Michael's winning.
Yeah. Okay, so...
We should point out that in between all of these werewolf killings, we're basically just kind of like, we are in like the dog days of summer. Everything is kind of slowed down and everyone's just chilling out. And we do get the introduction of not a monster, but a new character, Uncle Red, played by Gary Busey. Yeah, giving maybe the greatest performance on screen for any character ever.
Ever in a movie.
Yeah.
I love, he does, like, you had mentioned that he gives the best line deliveries. And I mean, he's really fucking good.
It's hard to sell how funny it is if you haven't seen it, because you can't do an impersonation of him because it doesn't make sense. Like I tried doing one earlier and it just didn't. It can't. Your voice can't articulate.
You did it pretty good. Let's do it again. Hardy Boys. Wear a hard hat. Hardy Boys.
Where is it? Oh,
I'm not a Hardy Boy out here trying to.
I'm a little too old to be playing the Hardy Boys. Me, Reverend Werewolf. I had read that a lot of his dialogue was improvised, which makes sense.
Yeah, because that doesn't, I can't even, what?
Yeah.
He feels like a get in this movie. Like, we got Gary Busey in this movie. And I feel like he knows that.
Yeah,
They
and so
feel
just let
that
him do
way.
what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is like chewing it up. And there is a level of charm in the movie. He's not just being weird, but the balance is so shifty that he's so hard to read, but he's not unlikable. You know, he's not too far.
Coming from a woman, no charm.
No
charm?
Oh. If I had him as like my crazy Uncle Red, I'd be like, man, this guy would literally take several bullets from me.
Yeah, I'd probably not want to be around him.
That's fair. I mean, maybe that's the right read. Maybe
everyone's got that uncle, you know.
Uh-huh.
Wow. So, okay, I had my times mixed up. This was before Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah, because that's 86, right?
I would have thought for sure
87?
that Lethal Weapon was before this because he's
that's
like,
funny.
Yeah, this is 2 years. Lethal Weapon was 2 years after Silver Bullet. And just the way he is like, so like, he's like lean and fit and just like kind of more like serious in Lethal Weapon. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it kind of it's like flopped. Like he would have put on some pounds. He would have like just got a little more loose, you know, more like comfortable in his acting chops. And then given us a performance like this.
Well, I think 1985 to 1993 maybe was like peak Gary Busey, where he was walking that tightrope with the most balance, maybe.
Sure.
Not teetering too far to the left, not teetering too far to the right. Because then he's like the love interest in Rookie of the Year, right?
Oh yeah.
And I remember him being kind of,
which is 93.
Yeah, kind of like the straight man in a way. Which is crazy to me. I think of Gary Busey as the straight man in a movie.
I mean, Point Break was 91. Predator 2 was 90. I feel like Predator 2 is a great mix of like Lethal Weapon, Gary Busey, and then like Point Break Busey. And then like Predator 2 is like right in the middle because it's like the
100%.
Two personalities, I guess. Anyways, okay. Red is awesome. Uncle Red. Here we are.
And then we're in the third reveal.
Yeah. We've got a great relationship going between Marty and Janie, brother and sister. Not like a great relationship. She's frustrated by having to take care of Marty, but they do love each other, and it's a sweet little relationship there. And we got Uncle Red, and now we are at Werewolf busts through floor of greenhouse and gets Tammy's dad.
Milt
Milt
is his name.
Sturmfuller.
What the fuck? How do you guys know all these names?
Because I watched it. I told you when I watch it on Prime. When you pause it, you can get all the characters' names. So I was doing that because they don't say them all, or at least I wasn't catching them all because I was so tired. So I was making sure that So there are a lot of, because that was the thing, is like the people who were dying and stuff in this movie, there was no, like, we didn't know any of them really. Yeah. So
Milt Sternberger.
Yeah, no, Mary Sturgevirgin.
Wait, is it
Milt
Sternberger?
It's Milt Sturmfuller. So think of Storm, but with a U, and then Fuller, as in Full House.
Milt Stormberger.
Sequel series.
Sturm Fuller?
Sure.
Stromstinger.
No, yeah, that's it. No.
Milt Sturmfuller.
Yeah.
Milt
right?
Frummer.
Milt
Martin
Sturmfuller.
Milt Frummer.
And he is, we're going to come back to him later in this show for 100% certain. But he plays Tammy's dad, Tammy Sturmfuller.
Yeah. Tim Fullstormer.
Tim. Who's Tim? Tammy. Little Tammy Timmy. Little Tammy Sturmfuller. But he gets impaled by the fucking floorboards.
I love this. This reminds me of the Friday the 13th remake, when in the opening they go into the cabin and you're like waiting for Jason to pop up, and then all of a sudden the hands come up from the ground and pull him down.
Oh, sweet. I don't remember that, but yeah.
It's our second Friday the 13th reference.
This is your second Friday the 13th reference.
Nice.
Yeah, so he gets, and this goes back to like the werewolf using like other things to kill people and not just like eating them. I think this was kind of like an accident though.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was going to kill him, but then like the floorboards just kind of did the work for him.
Yeah.
And this is when we get our great, this is when it starts to feel like Scream, where we have the curfew montage.
Yeah, of course. Oh, so it feels so much like Scream, Danny.
It does. It's small town.
A curfew montage?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, a curfew montage?
You start seeing everyone going home and like closing their blinds.
As if Scream is the only movie that's ever done that.
The gun shops are promoting their guns.
Oh, right. Okay.
Maybe it's not an official curfew, but people are like, deuces, it's dark out, I'm out.
Yeah, I remember now. And is this where we get Marty climbing the fucking tree?
Yeah, and then that bullshit scene where Jane gets screwed over. She gets in trouble for Marty not being home for dinner.
Yeah.
That's the one part where she is truly justified in being mad at Marty. It's like, yeah, I'd be pissed too.
She's like, is she mad? He's like, yeah, she's mad at me because it took me so long to find your fucking ass.
Well,
like,
even in the beginning, I think she had a right to be mad at him in the beginning. He just let his friend do it, and then he was laughing at her at first. Instead of like, he could have gone a little bit like out of his way to be like, Janie, hold up. don't come any closer. My friend is going to throw a snake at you. And he did.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a balance. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with siblings like teasing each other a little bit.
No, I don't think so either. But
the idea of dangling a snake isn't a big deal. She kind of made it worse. She got so upset and then was like falling back into the mud. I'm like, Jesus, Janie, like get your shit together.
But I want to know how Marty got into that tree.
Oh yeah,
yeah. In that later part, I don't know. He climbs later. It shows him climbing.
That's a fair question.
Up and down the.
Oh yeah, to like get out of his house.
Mm-hmm.
But like his, they show him just like reaching up, like with his arms and climbing up the tree. But then they show his chair, and there's no like the branch is so high, that there's no way he could have reached it. And I was like, how the fuck did he get in that tree? But somehow he gets in that tree, and then Janie's like, you got to get down. And this is where he sees Brady, and Brady's like, I'll come in a minute. And Marty's like, fuck, dude, I'm never going to see you again.
Yeah.
You're going to get killed. You're going to get killed.
You're going to die.
You're going to get it tonight.
You're going to get
that werewolf's going to get you.
You're going to get it.
I love how Brady's just like, sun's setting. Let me pull out my kite. This is a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't even have a reveal with Brady because it's off screen.
Yeah. But it does set up, this is basically what kind of galvanizes the town's angry mob, because they're all pissed that the police aren't doing enough. The police are pissed that they have no leads. And then it's basically Brady's dad who steps in and is like, listen, shut the fuck up. My son's dead. Are we going to do something about this or not? And that's when the mob feels like they have enough, like the momentum, like that's what they needed to kind of start, the raise the pitchforks and hump that bad guy who turns out to be a werewolf.
Yeah. And that's our fourth reveal. That's our fourth official reveal is the mob getting attacked in the fog.
The fog mob. It's that classic fog mob scenario.
Yeah. It was pretty silly.
It is great because it's this is like a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Very satisfying if you don't like these characters, because they don't make it. It also supplies our villain with a weapon which they will utilize later on in the movie, which is the baseball bat.
Yep.
The Peacemaker.
And we also get that great line where she says, "Bobby, you gonna make lemonade in your pants?"
Yeah.
There are lines in this movie that, me, I love Stephen King, but sometimes reading his books, he will write dialogue in some cases that is just so it's like, do people don't talk like this? It works in a book though. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes dialogue just works in a book, but to translate it onto screen, it doesn't fit. It doesn't feel organic. And this, I think, is one of those examples where it's funny, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Who am I to criticize Mr. King?
I think this is the search party that was looking for E.T.
No, yeah. This is the opening scene extended.
Yeah, like there should be like E.T. like there should be like an Easter egg. If you look closely, you see E.T. in the background like, going through the thing. But what about the fucking bear trap?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Casey, did you remember that? You'd like that part.
Yeah, when the one guy got stuck in the bear trap.
Yeah, because like the guy goes to pry it open and then like he hears a noise and he turns and he lets it go and it slams again.
Oh, it's so painful. I love it.
Okay, so these murders happened all over town. Why did they just like go to the woods?
Yeah.
That's what confused me.
Probably. They're dumb. They think werewolves live in the woods.
But they're not thinking it's a werewolf.
Oh.
They're just thinking like there's a killer out there.
See, that's where, to go back to your previous point about like how Marty, how did he get to that like realization of it being a werewolf or even considering a werewolf? That's where like one little deleted scene, one little extra scene could have helped everyone if it was something to do with like any hint at animals. So that the town would be like, well, let's check the woods. There's an animal, maybe it's there.
Yeah, you're right. Or it's just like it's like everybody in that bar is reading comic books. Or like Marty comes and distributes all the comic books. He's like, guys, I think I have an idea. He's like, here, read this. He's like passing out comic books to everybody. The cop comes in and he's like, supposed to be yelling about
we may not
justice.
have any leads, but so we may as well follow this.
Look here, everybody turn to page 27.
They're like, Sheriff, you serious? it's worth anything at this point.
But yeah, so this is what like the mob goes out to start their search party, and this is where we get Reverend Lowe coming up to all the cars and being like, "This is wrong. Don't do this. This is a bad idea." Blah blah blah. And really, he's just trying to save his own ass.
Yeah. I just want to emphasize, I'm not the killer, but you guys need to stop hunting this killer.
Yeah. But you'd think he might be like, ooh, like a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Smorgasbord.
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 Smorgasbord. Why are we calling them charcuterie boards?
Well, a smorgasbord is not just a charcuterie, is a specifically meats and cheeses.
Charcuterie.
Smorgasbord, I think, can apply to anything, right?
A smorgasbord is just a bunch of food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But a charcuterie is just a type.
Why are you saying it like that, Danny? Why are you saying charcuterie?
Wait, what am I saying? Well, how else are you supposed to say it?
Why are you saying charcuterie?
Wait, say it, Danny.
Wait, now I don't know. Now I'm too conscious of it.
Just say it like you say it.
All right. Milt Sturmfuller. Is that it?
Yeah. Okay, so smorgasbord. So yeah, the priest could have had a smorgasbord.
He could have feasted.
The woods.
Yeah.
I mean, he did kind of. He killed like 4 people
I think
or
it
more.
was 4, yes.
4?
I would say minimum 4 people.
Minimum 4 people. Now we're on our 5th official reveal, the transformation in the church of all like the townspeople all turning into werewolves, which we find out is a dream. But that was pretty cool. Sort of silly at the same time. You had some transformations that were like pretty kind of scary and like serious, but then you had like the wolf playing like the fucking organ.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, there's like a camp to it. And I think that's what makes it work, because it's so weird.
Uh-huh.
Well, they just kind of were like, this is going to be a little silly no matter what. So let's just put it all in there.
And I don't know if it's just because I saw this as a kid, but the visual of like a werewolf, like piano player, like in a church, I don't know, it always kind of wigged me out a little bit. So visually, I think it's cool, but I don't know.
Yeah,
otherwise
I get that.
It is a little silly.
I get that.
But if that's not bad enough, the fucking fireworks got canceled.
The fireworks got canceled. Yep.
Because of Brady, right?
It's all fucking Brady's fault. What
Because
the
fucking
fuck?
Brady is a dumb little kid who got torn to shreds.
Literally could have played with this kite at any other time. And as it so happens, any other time in this situation would be the only time people normally use a kite. So, yeah, fucking Brady.
But there is a silver lining to see what I did there? A silver lining to Brady's death, because Marty gets a new toy. He gets a new silver bullet.
Interesting. A little double entendre.
And to quote Uncle Red, ta-da! Yeah, so if you're watching this movie thinking the silver bullet is just about the bullet that will inevitably kill the werewolf, no.
Yeah, so
silver bullet.
Red made this crazy fucking wheelchair for Marty that goes like, geez, I don't know how fucking fast.
I think it was 80 miles per hour.
Shut up.
I'm pretty sure.
Did they show like the speedometer or something?
No, maybe it was when I was doing like research on this movie.
That thing was not road legal.
Oh, no.
You think they care about road legal in Tarker's Mills?
You're right. You're right. They definitely don't. They're a bunch of fucking hillbillies.
Yeah, but if he ever gets pulled over, once he tells the cop that like red coleslaw made it.
I love red coleslaw.
Red coleslaw made it for him. They'll be like, I get it.
You got this from old Red Coleslaw? Yeah, I'm Marty Coleslaw. Oh shit, you're Marty Coleslaw? I've heard about you. So he gives him this, he gives him the silver bullet that goes like 1,000,000 fucking miles an hour. And Marty just takes off. I will say though, that this -1 little scene, they do a really good job with the stunt double driving this this thing. There's like one little bit that you can see. It's like
to
a
the
dude.
point that there were a couple times where I was like, Corey Haim like almost hurt himself.
Oh yeah, he fucking popped a wheelie.
He does like a wheelie, and you see the thing like pop back. It was like, no.
Yeah, and then it's him.
No
or it's him, right?
Yeah.
It's him riding the thing. But not only does Red give him a dangerous cycle of sorts,
aka cycle of the werewolf.
Yes, he gives him a bag of fucking fireworks and says, "Hide him in the bushes.
Go have fun, kid.
Have fun. Don't don't go far from the house." Like, how do you hide the fireworks?
Yeah.
Stay awake, stay close to the house, and still have fun.
This is like an equivalent to a very difficult math equation, but I need you to find the correct distance.
He's gonna have to get out a map, right, with all the longitude and latitude on it. Figure out, pinpoint the perfect place for himself to go set off the fireworks.
This is the midpoint. That's the whole second half of the movie. It's just this math equation.
Taking care of business every day. That's the montage of him figuring out.
But because Marty doesn't listen to the rules and doesn't,
he's a bad boy.
He is.
Marty's a bad boy.
He's a little spoiled bowl of coleslaw.
Yeah, because people make coleslaw with mayonnaise and then they take them to fucking picnics outside and let them rot in the sun.
Yeah, you're a little rotten coleslaw, Marty.
I fucking hate that. You won't catch me eating anything with fucking mayonnaise in it.
I fucking love coleslaw. But anyways, because Marty is a bad bowl of coleslaw, he disobeys Uncle Red's orders and goes off in the middle of the night to the middle of the woods on a middle of a bridge in the middle of fucking nowhere to set off fireworks. And then he's surprised that the killer that happens to be a werewolf shows up. Like,
he's like,
not only is there a killer, but at this point, Marty thinks it's a werewolf.
Yeah. I think that
Marty walks outside. He's like, he looks up at the moon. He's like, that's a full moon. I think this is as good a night as any to go shooting off fireworks alone in the dark.
Look at all this light that the full moon is giving me. I can go anywhere to set up these fireworks in the middle of the night.
I think he does this dumb shit on purpose because he is upset that he's paraplegic.
Well, we have established the fact that he isn't kind of given a lot of opportunities to be reckless. So maybe he is, especially
that's what I mean. He's like, oh, look, I can do all this fun stuff that all these able-bodied people can do.
Yeah.
Kind of like a fuck you to the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's that scene where Red is talking to Marty's mom, which is, I forget her name. But he's like, you think taking care of him is just getting him from the chair to the toilet and the tub and the bed. But there's more to Marty. He's needs to live life. And so,
he needs to put himself in threatening situations at peak werewolf time.
Yeah. But yeah, this is our sixth reveal because he's on the bridge in the middle of fucking nowhere shooting off fireworks and the werewolf comes at him and he uses the one thing that Red was like, save this for this is like the finale. Like, this is a rocket, like foreshadowing. Don't waste this one. You'll need it. And then he gets him right in the eye. I mean, good shot for a first time firework user, I would say.
I also love, this is such a random takeaway, but something I noticed was Corey Haim's performance in this scene. When he's riding away, he looks genuinely horrified.
Oh, sure.
If you go back and watch it, his expression seems, I don't know, very real. So,
yeah, he was a good
little guy.
Yeah, quintessential 80s kid actor.
Yeah.
And
I always enjoyed his performances. I don't think
he's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He did a really good job in this. This is actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie where he tells Janie that he saw this werewolf and whatever. And like the narrator, Janie, comes back on and she's like, I don't know why, but I believed him and whatever. So like, then she goes around the town looking for people with one eye. Right. It's just a cool.
It's so strange though. All of the acting in it is so weird. Like it's so strange. It feels. it feels manufactured.
Sure.
It feels like a Stepford Wives thing.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, where they're all like, none of them are up to any good. And you know what I mean? Like, they're all in on something.
Like, especially I'm thinking like the people at the door where like she rings their doorbell and like you see the eyes and then she's like, oh, it's little Janie Coleslaw. And then the husband comes around and he's like, hi, Janie Coleslaw.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she like goes into the bar or whatever, and they're all just like
they're all staring at her
with really wide eyes, and they're all facing the exact same direction, like looking the exact same way.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah. Weird.
There's two examples of, because I think also just the pacing, because a montage typically has a very different energy to it.
Yeah.
So I think the lack of montagey music and the kind of slow pacing gives it that kind of Stepford Wives effect.
Yeah.
This isn't the first example of pacing really standing out in this movie. And again, not here to criticize, just something I noticed. But when earlier in the movie, when Marty goes to the gas station attendant, they have this very bizarre exchange where they're clearly doing a bit, but the pace, comedy pacing needs to like bounce and it doesn't. So it's just like this kind of creepy conversation between two people that might have been fixed in. That is one of those cases where it's like fix it in the edit. I think it would have worked if they just like got it moving a little bit
faster. Yeah.
And that's another example of it. Cause it makes you really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're like, what is this? It almost like saturates it with weirdness. So you think things are weirder than they are, when in reality it should just be like this like fun kind of, discovery montage of like figuring things out. But it's not that.
And then she goes into the barber shop and just like takes that guy's hot towel off his face.
Yeah.
And that's like the mean guy.
Very
That's like
slowly,
the mean.
and he didn't
Andy.
do anything. There was no like.
Yeah. He just like
he
looks
should have
at her.
like grabbed her hand or something. You know what I mean? And then sat up. I don't know. Like.
And then like when she leaves, she like wraps it back up and he's like, Jesus Christ.
He's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it was very weird. It was probably my favorite part of the movie because it was so strange.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's a David Lynch montage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
totally. It was.
But in that scene, we get our 7th and 8th reveals. Janie goes all the way through the town collecting cans, and she's looking for this guy with the one eye with one eye. But when she gets to the church to turn in her cans, she sees the Reverend gardening. Yep. And she says, hey, I've got my cans. And he's like, okay, just put them in the fucking shed with all the other garbage. And she walks behind him and we see as an audience that he's the one with one eye. And it's kind of like the moment, like, oh my God. So that's our 7th reveal. And then she goes into the garage to put the cans away. And she sees the Peacemaker bat. And I don't know why the werewolf kept the bat.
Well, I don't think he's very smart.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're out in the woods, you use it to kill the guy, just chuck it away.
Yeah. So let's get into the next reveal, which is where he comes into the garage, right?
Yes. This is our 8th reveal.
And Janie knows that it's him because he's wearing an eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you were gardening. Why aren't you wearing sunglasses? Be a little less conspicuous, please. Why are you wearing an eye patch?
Oh, sure.
I don't think he's smart.
Yeah.
I almost feel like that would have been more effective for the story too, to have it not given away. So like, maybe it is just so obvious if we saw him in sunglasses, like it's got to be him.
Sure.
But still
But
not quite give it up. Yeah.
But
totally.
not to her,
Agreed.
like to them. They wouldn't have known.
Where there's still a seed of doubt in her where it's like, is my brother like being crazy? Or
she would go tell her brother, whatever. And then her brother, when he decides to go chase him later, I mean, then obviously, come on, be smarter.
He knows that Marty was the one that got him. So he knows that Marty knows that he knows what he did. And so, like, why would you just like wear that?
Yeah. Just wear an eye patch. Come on. Sunglasses, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Simple.
I mean, he has access to so many eyeballs from all the people he's killed. What if he just like stole one and
popped it right in?
Do a little Art the Clown there.
They're like, is that Mr. Jameson's eye?
Mr.
I
Jameson.
know that eye anywhere.
It's Mr. Smurfburger's eye.
Is that Tim Nerfherder's eye?
Nerf herder.
Is that Mr. Krabby Patty's eye? But yeah, that is a good scene. That's a great, I mean, it is a great reveal. I think not so much the one to her isn't that great, but to us as an audience, with him like guarding and the camera just tracks to the side and he looks up and he's got his eye patch and you're like, oh shit. Okay.
I got a question for you guys. How do you feel about Marty's threatening letter to Reverend Lowe? The phrasing of it specifically.
My next note is all caps, LOL, Marty's note.
I didn't see it.
His note
It
says,
reads like a mean, like a troll commenting on someone's like post on Facebook, like a horrible person.
yeah.
Like I'm talking like abusive level troll.
Anyway, what did his letter say?
So Marty's note says, I know who you are. I know what you are. Why don't you kill yourself?
People go to jail for that now.
I was like, Jesus, Marty, even for a werewolf who killed like 10 people, too far.
Cyberbullying.
God, oh, it's not cyber. He sent it to him in the mail.
I know. I said it's cyberbullying because people have actually gotten in trouble for telling people to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Like over the internet through text.
Yeah, it's super fucked up.
What do you think? How could he have framed this letter to be a little less, to be just as effective, but not as intense, maybe? If
I
that
know
makes sense.
who you are. I know what you are. Meet me in the parking lot with a bunch of fireworks.
Yeah. I'll kill you if you want. You don't have to do it yourself.
I know who you are. I know what you are. Me and Smart Murph Burger are going to get you.
Get out of here. Leave this town forever. Blah, blah, blah. Something, you know.
Never show your face here again.
Yeah. I'm telling the police. If you don't leave tonight, I'll tell the police or something stupid.
Yeah, a softer blow. I hurt you once and I'll do it again if you don't leave Dodge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Reverend's like, leave Dodge. What a nerd. Who says that?
And then he sends multiple notes. We don't see what they are, but they do say that he sends many different notes.
One's like, no, really do it. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Because this, like, they don't really, it's, you have to be really paying attention to realize that, like, this happens over, like, between spring to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts in the spring, and then, like, the climax is on, like, Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So it happens over a few months, but there's not a big emphasis on that time frame. So, so over time, he did send him multiple notes, and then we get our sad Marty watching kids play baseball scene. Yeah. And then the great chase, the great silver bullet chase of 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That was a classic.
I think it's a good.
Oh, it is. I agree.
Pretty suspenseful little chase, and then when he gets stuck in the bridge, that's scary. Yeah. It's pretty scary.
Well, it is. Yeah.
Reverend Lowe calls him a meddling little shit. That's that famous line from in all those Scooby-Doo episodes, and they're like, "I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling little shits."
Yeah. But that's our ninth reveal. Is that Marty? Even though he knows that it's Reverend Lowe, he hasn't seen him face to face since that encounter.
Yeah, there are no doubts at this point. Too. It's like, oh, you're bad.
Mm-hmm. And he starts he sideswipes him with his car, and he's like, "You're gonna have an accident, Marty Coleslaw. Like, you're going in the water, you're gonna drown, and that just ain't cool, Mr. Lowe."
That's pretty low.
That's pretty low. Low.
It's pretty. You're pretty full of yourself, Milt Sturmfuller.
Mark Sturmfuller.
But because of this, they tell Red, and Red's like, "Wait, Danny, what does Red say?"
I'm a little too old to be playing the Hardy Boys meet Reverend Werewolf.
Every time, I love it. Because Reverend Lowe sideswiped him, they do see that there's paint chips on the silver bullet. And he's like, okay, I'll go talk to the sheriff. He talks to the sheriff. The sheriff's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, a werewolf? And Red's like, just do me a favor, check him out. He's like, okay.
If you can trust anyone in this town, you can trust red coleslaw.
That's right.
Didn't we kick you out of? Isn't that why you're not usually here? Because we literally kicked you out of town, told you not to come back again.
But why does the sheriff feel like he needs to investigate the Reverend's house in the middle of the night?
Yeah, what's going on with everyone?
It's so strange. Like, why is he like sneaking around? Like, he should like go in the daytime and be like, hey,
I feel
can
like
I see your
everyone
car?
has these moments. The sheriff, Marty, they're all like, okay, this guy's out there killing people at night. Statistically speaking, if I'm the kind of person who would willingly go out knowing that the killer strikes at night, maybe I'm less likely to be killed.
Well, if they're going to his house at night, they probably think he's not home because he's out killing somebody.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point.
But his car's there, so he should have been like, oh, he's not out murdering people.
Yeah, the sheriff's walking to the house and he's like, I'm going to go investigate while he's gone. He's like, oh, his car's here. He's like, wait, he said he's a werewolf. He doesn't need his car. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks real like sneaky. He's like lights up his cigarette and he's like sneaking around, and then he like knocks on the door. He's like, Reverend, I'm here.
He's like, damn it, I'm so
sneak
bad at this job.
This is our 10th official reveal. The sheriff meets Reverend Lowe in the garage, and we get a pretty cool transformation.
I think this is our first full transformation in the movie?
Mm-hmm. I thought this was cool though, you know, because he changes all the time into this werewolf, and they're like, okay, but the moon isn't full now. How could he be the werewolf? And they said, you know, this goes back to the cycle of the werewolf, like the original story, where it's like, they say as the moon gets fuller, he gets wolfier. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, he's just like partially a wolf, and then
So what? Only his like dick and balls look like look like a wolf ball for the first night.
Sometimes you got a red rocket. You're like, oh
yeah.
God.
He's like, fuck, it's happening. The cycle is starting.
All right, so he just killed the sheriff. Oh, this is when they make the titular silver bullet.
Oh, yes.
This sets up the climax of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now we are getting Marty and Janie are like, hey, here, Red, take our silver necklaces and please work your Uncle Red magic and turn this into a bullet.
I'm sure you've turned something. This isn't your first time turning something into a bullet. Will you just help us out here?
Yeah. He just knows how to do that. So I love that scene, though. I love the silver bullet making scene with like the narration is just really good.
Yeah, even the guy is like, this is the nicest piece of work I've ever done. I'm like, hell yeah.
But the climax happens on Halloween, which is very cool. And every time I watch this movie and this scene starts with them like in the house and the Star Spangled Banner is playing, like closing out the TV, and there's like all the wood paneling, and it's just like such a vibe that like sends me back to my childhood, like watching this movie. It's like so nostalgic, and I just I love this ending so much. It's so good. I don't know, it's just like cool. It's like
I'm right there with you.
Something about the wood paneling, I'm just like, man.
Wood paneling always brings me back. Like I used to I've told you about my babysitter. I used to like go to his house like almost every day. He's the guy who like got me into watching horror movies in the first place. Oh
yeah, he would have all the VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm. And he had like, that's literally reminds me, that whole vibe, that aesthetic was like his place.
Gotcha.
So I'm right there with you.
Very cool.
Very cozy.
Casey, did you like the wood paneling?
Didn't notice.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's probably why you didn't love the movie.
The last house I lived in had wood paneling. So it's not like it takes me back to a younger days. It
takes you back to 6 months ago.
9 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. But here we get our two final reveals, our 11th and 12th reveals. They're watching the TV goes off. They wake up. It's like 3 a.m. and Red's like, I'm going to sleep. Nothing is happening. And then Janie sees the werewolf out her window.
And despite Uncle Red trying to be a cool uncle and help them out, you know, he says, he's like, I'll feel like a horse's ass.
Danny, you're nailing it, man. You're nailing it.
Thank you. Gary Busey is channeling through me.
Yes.
It's like he's in me right now. Yeah, as I rub my breast.
But then the werewolf just fucking busts through the door or the fucking wall. Not even the door.
Yeah.
It just breaks through the wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's the Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid
man.
And that's that's the 12th reveal, because that's when Uncle Red finally sees the werewolf.
Yeah. And like it is kind of like a silly reaction where he's like
He goes, blah, 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 blah. God, I love Gary Busey in this movie so much.
And the climax is, I mean, like the fight is pretty quick, but it's effective, I think, because you get the bullet, because Red takes the bullet out of the gun and he's like, I'm going to sleep. And the bullet flies across the room and goes down in one of those like vents that we all had in our houses growing up.
Yeah.
I love the little detail though, that like when he reaches down there to like get it, there's like a marble and like some other stuff that's like falling down there. I thought that was
There's a whole extended
cool.
sequence of him finding other things, like
Picking everything up.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I needed that. Oh, great.
Yeah. But yeah, he shoots him in the other eye with the silver bullet. And I love this transformation more than the one in the garage, where it's like the reversal.
Totally.
Which is pretty cool. Which is it's a much bigger transformation than the previous one. Like it's more detailed, and you see like his nails getting shorter and coming back to human form, and all the hair going back in was pretty cool.
That's why I never have to shave, because I'm part werewolf. So if I ever want to like do some trimming, I just kind of like suck it all in.
Ew.
I just like tense up and I just like I just pull it all in.
Oh God. Stop making that noise, you guys.
People are like, Danny, what are you doing in there? We're like, I'm trimming.
Trimming.
Trimming. I'm cleaning my teeth. Oh God. And that, my friends, is Silver Bullet.
Yeah.
Okay, well now let's pick our favorite reveals in Silver Bullet.
What's going on here?
I don't see anything anywhere.
That's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground.
Okay, speed round recap of our reveals in Silver Bullet. Number 1, Arnie gets decapitated on the train tracks. Number 2, the werewolf killing Stella, the pregnant woman, the bunned up oven woman.
Yeah.
Number 3, werewolf bursts through the floor of the greenhouse and kills Murphle Stingbomber. And kills
Full king bomb.
Dirk Snarfdingler.
Number 3, werewolf bursts through the floor of the greenhouse and gets Tammy's dad, Murph Stinkbomber. Number 4.
Stinkbomber.
Number 4, the fog mob attack.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, the dream of the church wolves.
The dream of the church wolves.
That's like a really like
Sounds
obscure
elegant.
name. It's like a really obscure name for like a fucking orchestral piece or something.
Yeah.
This is Vivaldi's Dream of the Church Wolves.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 6 is Marty on the bridge and shoots the rocket in the eye of the werewolf. Number 7, we see Reverend Lowe with his eye patch. Number 8, Janie sees Reverend Lowe with his eye patch. Number 9, Marty gets chased by Reverend Lowe. Man, Reverend Lowe is now dominating these reveals.
Mm-hmm.
As he should, as the
He's
monster.
Yeah, totally.
Crazy.
Number 10 is the sheriff gets killed in the garage. Number 11 is Janie sees the werewolf through the window. And number 12 is Red gets attacked by the werewolf. Now, which one is your favorite? Please tell me it's Murph Stinkbomber.
My favorite is Murph Stinkbomber. No, it's not. My favorite is Arnie.
Okay.
Is his name
right in
Arnie? The
beginning.
first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Yep.
Just because clean, simple, elegant.
Yeah.
No, just, right off the bat, I like that. So.
Yeah, totally. Danny, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm between two. I'm between the church, the dream of the church. Wait, what was it called?
The dream of the church wolves.
The dream
of the church wolves and E minor. Yeah. That and Lowe versus the sheriff, because you get like the full transformation. You get this great kill. Oh man, it's tough. I'm going to go with the church scene.
Okay. It's a good one for sure. I do love the Murph Stink Bomber scene, like just like going through the greenhouse.
No, it's just his name.
Yeah. Just going through the greenhouse and like for some reason, like everything shakes. I don't understand that, but it's just cool and pretty suspenseful, I think.
Like, just trying to create a vibe, just shaking the walls.
Man, I don't know. Like, I love the fog scene, which is really cool. And even when he kills the pregnant lady, because it's just like, I love him climbing the lattice and getting up and he's seeing his claws. And that's only 13 minutes into the movie, and we get a full view of the werewolf.
Oh, I was going to mention that earlier. We do, as much as like this adaptation doesn't really stick to the format of the book, you do get that, like, because that one, like I said, is like, it's very episodic. Where like every month, and then the month ends, and then boom, we're in the next month, and then we get a sequence, so on and so forth. I thought they did a pretty good job of trying to kind of replicate that feeling, at least in the first part of the movie. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
But I think ultimately, and just for nostalgia factors, I'm going with Red getting attacked by the werewolf, number 12.
That's a good pick.
Just because that scene, it's all the vibes for me.
Yeah.
Now it's time for a segment that we like to call The Real Monster.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
You're a monster.
I'm not the monster here. You are. You and the rest of that fairy tale trash poisoning my perfect world. Now tell me, where are the others?
Eat me.
The insults in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Jane calls her brother a booger a lot.
You're such a booger, Marty.
You're such a booger. I think at some point, she calls somebody Dumbo.
Okay.
Somebody calls somebody Dumbo. And then they're talking about like catching the killer, and somebody says, you couldn't catch a cold. Sure. So,
you're such a stink bomber.
The insults in this movie are, they are to be rivaled with the insults from Flatliners. No, actually, the girl in Flatliners, she did a really good job. But
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jane could learn a thing or two from the girl from Flatliners.
Yeah. Right.
What's it? Kiefer Sutherland's dream. Was that not
Kevin Bacon's dream?
Kevin Bacon's dream.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Little Winnie.
Yeah, Winnie. Yeah.
Winnie something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. The insults. I've got guys who can't take responsibility for their actions.
Mm-hmm. Don't I know it?
Danny, you had mentioned it earlier, but when the guy says it's your oven, but it ain't my bun.
Yeah.
Yep. That's like, dude.
Also, just a weird way to frame it.
Well, you still put your dick in her oven, sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is he talking about?
You put your little spatula in the oven.
Hey, put your little pancake batter in her.
Put your whisk in her bowl and.
You put your whisk in her bowl.
Whisk it around.
I have Tammy's dad, Murph Stink Bomber. For this is just like, I can't believe this was in a movie. He said that he's talking about Marty in his wheelchair, and he says that he's going to end up on welfare, and that he wants to, quote, electrocute all the cripples to balance the budget.
Okay, Nazi regime. God. Jesus Christ.
And I was like, Jesus, oh my God, like what the fuck? And then in the next scene he gets killed. So good for you, Reverend Lowe. Thank you for that.
Jesus.
I love how Stephen King just like puts victims in his stories that are just like, I don't like this type of person. I don't like this type of person.
Yeah.
I don't like this type of person.
I've got Marty for going so far away from the house when lying to Red after Red did such a great thing for him. Mm-hmm. But I think my number one real monster is Marty again, but for a different reason. I think it's for him seeing the silver bullet that Red just presented to him, ta-da, and Marty saying, "Is it for me?"
So it's for being dumb.
For being a fucking idiot.
Stupid fucking kid. Dumb fucking kid.
He's like, Red's like, no, it's actually for Shorty potato salad. Come over here. And like another kid in a wheelchair comes up behind him and he's like,
potato salad?
He bumps Marty Coleslaw out of the way.
Coleslaw, you've been demoted.
It's all of his friends, just coleslaw, potato salad. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Marty for asking, "Is it me?" Marty for being a fucking idiot. Danny, what do you got for real monsters?
I have Marty for not fueling his silver bullet, running on E. He had one job.
Right.
So he's an idiot and he's irresponsible. Also, whoever didn't give Corey Haim a helmet on set. Real monster, guys. This is dangerous.
Like his character could have very easily just worn.
Yeah, just throw on a helmet. The gas station attendant. That is one of the funniest scenes.
Yeah.
It's so strange. But he keeps like doing this thing. He's like, you want me to change the oil? And then it cuts to Marty going, and he's like, clean the windshield. And what does he say? He says something about like, he does like a pun that I don't remember. And they're just like, it's so weird. It's the weirdest scene. I love it though.
That's weird.
And then finally, the real monster is Stella's mom for taking so long to find the gun instead of helping her daughter.
Oh yeah.
Like, gee whiz, girl. I thought that too. At first I was like, why is she not just going upstairs? And then I realized she was looking for a gun, which was okay. But know where it's at and go get it. That's the fucking point, bitch.
That's the point. Yeah.
You know?
Like, oh, where did I put that gun?
Oh,
that's
where
like
did
how
I
like
put that gun?
fucking gun safety was just non-existent back then.
Totally.
It was like,
it's around here somewhere.
It was like in the junk drawer.
Loaded. Like it would have made sense if like maybe she kept the bullets in a separate place.
No, it's all in the closet in a shoebox.
She just
Come on.
can't find the gun.
It's in your closet in
It's
in
around
a
here
shoebox.
somewhere.
Yeah. Like opening all the drawers. Where did I put it? Oh God. That's crazy. Yeah. Good real monsters, guys. Good real monsters. Well, now it's time for our last segment. Would you survive Reverend Lowe's werewolf in Silver Bullet?
And here we go.
I don't think I would.
I don't think so either, because I'm a slut. I don't think he'd like me.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
No, he'd come after you.
Yeah, I'm gay. I'm dead. He's like, I'm saving your soul. I'm like,
I'm a bisexual slut.
Yeah.
You're gay. We're done.
I'm a straight white boy, but I don't go to church,
fine.
so.
You're fine.
Damn. Give me something. Be mad at me.
Help me.
I think I would. I think it's conditional. I think I would survive. I think all of us would survive, but only if we all had Uncle Red on our side.
Yeah.
We're certainly not as stupid as the rest of the people in this movie.
Truly.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think so.
We might not go to church and you might be.
Here's the thing,
gay
though.
whores,
Do any of us own real silver?
No.
I don't either.
I have a
Good
lot
point.
of jewelry. I doubt any of it's real silver, though.
Yeah. We would we would have like a whole collection. We'd be trying all the bullets that we melted down from our jewelry and random quote unquote what we thought was silver.
I have a lot of swords.
Yeah.
Well, you could stab him with a silver sword.
Yeah.
Our swords made out of
It's
silver?
just silver.
That can't be right.
But I don't have a gun either. So like,
Same.
let alone silver.
Yeah,
I don't
we're a
have a
little-
fucking gun.
Just keep hitting them really hard with the silver.
No, you know what would be really cool? Get a crossbow and make a silver tip
That I have.
crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
That'd be cool.
crossbows.
So wait, who would survive?
You.
Danny
Yeah,
said he
no,
would survive.
I'm just kidding.
No, none of us will survive unless Uncle Red was there.
Unless we have Uncle Red's.
And we have to make more money. We have to, but then also invest that money into silver.
Yeah.
And then, does anyone know anyone who is there a gun shop near you that fucking makes bullets?
I mean,
I live in fucking Oklahoma. There's gun shops.
plenty of guns.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
So all right. So this started where I thought I would live. I would die. You would both live.
Okay.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah, I think if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, it'd be real easy to get killed by Reverend Lowe's werewolf.
Yeah, werewolves aren't exactly you know, like they're harder to evade, I think.
Yeah, I don't have a lot where I live. I don't know about you guys. It's not really a city thing.
Yeah, they like the country.
Yeah.
Werewolves in the city.
What an insane concept. Where would you ever see a movie about a werewolf in a major city?
I don't know. Could it be
I don't know.
London?
Could it be London? We'll have to find out next time on How I Met Your Monster. That was weird. I don't like how I said that. Well, that was Silver Bullet, you guys. Awesome movie. Love it.
Yay.
Casey's, Danny, I know where you stand. Listeners, if you love Silver Bullet, let us know. Find us on social media. How I Met Your Monster, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. We're all over the place. Or send us an email at howimetyourmonsterpodcast@gmail.com. Guys, what is the next movie in our Dog Days of Summer triple feature?
American Werewolf in London, baby.
That's cool.
The best werewolf movie there is.
One of them.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
It's just very important to me for reasons that we'll talk about on the next episode.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to talk about it. I mean, I freaking
Yeah.
love this movie. What's also really cool, listeners, is we are going to be recording our next episode on location. We'll be in London. We're going to start the first half of our episode backpacking through the moors, and we're going to finish up in Trafalgar Square.
Trafalgar. Schmerker. Burger, Schmerkenburger.
We're also doing it in, to not be offensive to the British people, we will also be doing the episode with British accents.
Of course.
To not be offensive to the British people. Okay. So you guys obviously don't want to miss that episode.
No, it's going to be a colorful one.
So join us next time for An American Werewolf in London. Guys, where can our listeners find you two on social media?
I am on Instagram at Wolf Mother Casey.
Nice. Werewolf Mother Casey.
Werewolf Mother Casey.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just on all the various social media platforms at my name, Danny Salem. That's DANNYSALEMME. 2 M's like the candy. Melt in your butt, not in your hands.
Wonderful. And you can find me on social media at Zach Winsick. Thank you all for listening to our first entry in Dog Days of Summer, and join us next time for An American Werewolf in London. And until then, thank you all for listening. Now go meet some monsters.